escaping the realm of darkness. The paranormal guys are on a quest to find the answers to the hard questions of where the normal meets the paranormal and the weird, and where the natural meets the unnatural. So grab your holy water, call your mama, and get ready for the Paranormal Guys podcast.
Boom! We're back. Did I get you on that one?
I'm awake.
I did that. All of a sudden, your eyes just got wide.
I have to record that for like my phone alarm clock to go off every morning. Boom, and I'll be right awake.
The Paranormal Guys are back. Today's date is 2/3/24. This episode here will be with Miss Ali Krause. We're going to be helping promote Madtown Paranormal Expo. That'll be on the Sunday, February 18th, 2024. That'll be going out there. We're also going to be airing the whole episode on the 6th, which is this Wednesday. If you're hearing it right now, today's the 6th, boys and girls. I just helped you along. Steve, what's going on?
Everything is going on. It's going on all around the world. And if you're a flat earther, all up and down the world.
All left and right and up and down. Nothing round.
Right.
If
you're a flat earther. Yeah.
If you're a flat earther, if you believe that the world is flat, now I'm not knocking you, man. No. But you know what? I don't agree with you. Let's put it that way.
So you believe things are going around the world?
Yeah, I think they're going round and round and round the world. Where it stops, nobody knows, type thing, you know. Mm-hmm. Or wherever it ends, nobody knows. I don't know. All I know is I believe we're going round and round. It's called, I don't know if you ever heard this thing. Be very quiet about this. It's called gravity. Gravity.
Gravity can happen on a flat Earth, can it?
Can it? So if you're on the bottom end of it,
there's no bottom end. It's just one big flat surface.
It's just one flat. So
it's like a table in space.
Oh, okay. All right. I don't know, man.
I don't know either. I'm guessing. I would like to talk to somebody about it. Can we get a flat earther on here?
I'd be more than happy to and be very respectful about it.
Yeah.
I'd be more, if you could change my mind and explain it to me, I'll say, you know what, dude? You're one smart dude. You were able to change my mind.
Because I know a lot of them are smart. I mean, they're not dumb people.
Oh, no, they're not stupid. They have a belief.
But I want to know, is it a strong belief based on something else, like a worldview? A lot of folks who believe in flat Earth believe in some of the things that I believe in, like creation and all of that. So, like God, for example, and they'll read the Bible, and I think there's something called the firmament, the roof of the earth. Can't get past it. I don't know.
I don't know, dude. I mean,
I want to hear like how it works and why they think that, because I don't know. I just know that Star Trek, it's round. Every time they go to a planet, it's a ball.
I know every single planet that they go to is round. Now, here's the other thing. Then I have a question. Then I understand that the sun is a star. I get that, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is the moon a planet, or are they defined as moon?
It's a moon. It's a satellite.
All right, so that's for another conversation for another day.
It's a satellite. So if you have a round Earth, then it goes around the Earth. It orbits around. But what does it do if it's a flat Earth? I don't know how it works.
Or if it's a flat moon, I mean,
is the moon flat?
It's
not.
Here's my thing. Is okay. Let's say this is the Earth and it's flat. Okay, my two hands upward.
For the folks listening, Neal's making a flat hand.
Right. All right. So for ladies and gentlemen, you know that you're listening to either streaming, but you can also go to our YouTube channel, which is gravesideparanormal.com, where you can see us and you can see Neal being all goofy with his hands right now. Mm-hmm. So what I'm doing, ladies and gentlemen, I'm putting my hands upside down or upside up, and my palms are to the ground. And what I'm trying to demonstrate, this would be a flat Earth. So then up in the sky, let's say this hand here is still the flat Earth, and this hand here would be the moon.
Is it flat moon?
What's that?
The flat moon?
Yeah, it would be a
or
flat
round
moon,
moon.
right? Everything would be flat. Here would be flat. There would be flat. Like when we see the moon at night, does it ever really ever look different though? Do we see it the
Yeah.
other, like the dark side of the moon that they call
Oh
it?
no, but we see darkness on in the moon
Okay. I
because
see.
the light's shining on the other side, and that means it's round like a ball.
Hmm.
I
So
mean,
you know what? We need to bring somebody on. We need to, you know what we need to bring on? We need to bring on two people. Someone who can well educate us. I mean, it's something that really shouldn't be well educated. I mean, it's to me, in my mind, it's pretty simple that the earth is round.
mhm.
The moon is round. The sun, which is a star, is round. Am I right or wrong?
Do you think the Earth is bigger than they say it is? Like,
I don't
do you
know.
believe there's an ice wall, and then after that, there's more
Well, like
continents?
the inner earth.
No, like the Earth is just bigger, and like they don't tell us all about all the continents. Like, there's something beyond
Oh, are you
Antarctica.
saying yeah, there's more to I don't know, dude. What you see from the satellite photos is what you see when you go to your school when you were a kid, the globe.
Yeah.
You know, if you go on Google Maps, I mean, if you go up into the up in the satellites, you're going to see the Earth, and it looks round. And I don't see any extra continents.
You know what they're talking about?
Mhm.
This thing called a pole shift.
Mhm.
And they're saying that the North Pole and the South Pole are moving, and they're moving faster away from where they used to be.
Mhm.
And eventually, they're just gonna like maybe in 1 day's time do a really big move and flip, and then all kinds of crazy stuff will happen. Like planes will be like, "Oh, I don't know where to go."
Because of
Birds,
the magnetism, correct?
right? Birds will be like, "What the?" And they'll be like flying east instead of south.
So are you saying the North Pole and the South Pole will shift, and the
They're gonna
South Pole become the North Pole, and the North Pole become the South Pole?
wherever that lands. Like
Or even the smallest little shift, like a small shift could cause problems? Are you saying disruption?
yeah, because they can move like really fast in 1 day. You know,
Yeah.
they I have to read a little bit more about it, but,
Yeah, I
there's, like,
think so.
this 12,000-year cycle, and, then you have, like, an ice age, and it happens real fast.
You know what? If anybody's out there,
Mhm.
send that email to Neal at gravesideparanormal.com, uh, or it's Steve at Steve, Steve at gravesideparanormal.com. We want your opinion on the flat Earth thing, and I'd love to have somebody on who is knowledgeable.
Hey,
I don't want someone like myself that's on there who is semi knowledgeable and is not going to be able to give an accurate answer to a discussion. I want to just discuss it and get answers from it.
yeah, bring the topic out to a wider, range of folks,
Yeah.
I'm not saying that, like, we'll believe it, but we'll be kind, and we won't,
Oh, we're always decent with everybody. I mean, we're going to joke about. We have to joke
we're
about
not too smart, though,
it.
so
No, we're just paranormal guys.
right.
That's all we are.
But, we'd like to hear, what you think and why. And who knows? Maybe we'll become flat earthers.
Man, you never ever know. I mean, we've had discussions with some people on certain subjects, and I have to admit, sometimes I listen to them and I go, "Wow, that actually makes sense." But in the end, I still don't believe certain things, but I'm willing to listen. I will not be rude to you. I
We'll
will
respect
laugh
you
at you.
afterwards.
Yeah, I'll respect you afterwards.
Yeah, we'll respect you in the morning.
I may not agree
That's
with
what
you,
I
but
always say. I'll
yeah,
respect
but
you
I'll
in the
do my
morning.
best with you. Do my best.
Yeah.
All right. So anything else? What's going on in my world? So I could tell everybody. Really nothing. I mean, nothing really going on in my world though, Steve. I
Well,
got.
you're retired now, so I
Yeah,
mean,
I'm
you have all this
retired.
time on your hand.
Yeah, you know what? And you know what? I can't tell people. I put forth some ideas for this new tour season. And now that I have a lot of time on my hands, I'm slowly learning certain things on the computer, and I'm really enjoying doing it. So I'm going to hopefully within the next week or two, I'm going to be able to put something out there for something that Graveside Paranormal may be doing for the Halloween season this year. So hold tight on that one if you are listening today. Some of our fans in the Chicagoland area. We have a broad base of fans. Actually, we're actually a very popular paranormal tour company, ghost investigation company that does tours throughout the Chicagoland area. So if ever you're interested, to come on out. We usually always sell out pretty quick. So,
what do our fans usually say? They're like,
yeah, they usually are. But when like you tell like a dad joke, what do they do? Yeah, and Steve's very good at the dad jokes. He loves to tell these dad jokes all day long.
Sometimes my dad laughs.
Oh dear Lord!
When I tell dad jokes, sometimes he laughs.
Well, that's good. It's good that you guys have that kind of communication. All right, so what we're going to get into now, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to get into the news. The Paranormal Guys, weird news. Now, I didn't go searching very, very deep for news this week. I'm not going to lie to you, Steve, because actually I wanted to show everybody something. I want everybody to please go to our YouTube channel. So what you're going to see. I went through some old video, like I said, like I was talking about earlier. I've been using the computer a lot. I bought a new laptop. So I've been going through some old tapes, videotapes of places that we've haunted. And I'm going to try to be putting something
Places that we've haunted?
What's that?
Places we've haunted?
No, not the places we've haunted. Places that are haunted.
Places that are haunted. Okay, yeah. I thought that we haunted.
That we haunted? No.
Yeah, I don't know. I might have heard wrong. Yeah. Yeah, because we've hunted there. I guess ghost hunting.
Yeah, we've gone out and hunted. Yeah.
I think I know what you're going to show.
Oh, yeah. So I was going through the Lake County Jail episodes that's in Crown Point, Indiana. We were out there last March with Pat and Rebecca and some other people. And the video I'm going to show you is a possible another shadow person that we caught. Now, let me put you through this, Steve, is that when this video starts, you're going to start seeing people walking over to the left. And then when the camera is center, you're all of a sudden going to see the shadow move like really, really quick to the right. Now, it's up for everybody to decide. It's your opinion. So you're the investigator right now. Me, personally, I think it's a shadow person. The reason why, and let me explain. First, let me show the video, and then I'll explain. Why don't we do that? All right, so you're going to watch this video right now.
Technically, the electric came up here, but honestly, made it happen.
All right. Did you see that, Steve?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to show it again.
Technically, the electric came up here, but honestly, made it happen.
Right. You see how it goes down?
Yeah.
One more time. I'm going to leave on my mic here.
Technically, the electric came up here, but
to the left.
Made it happen.
To the right goes really quick. Now, let me explain, is that nobody in this party they're all about 50-something years of age, between their 40s and 50s. Nobody's in a big rush in a dark building to run. In this line here, we were being presented the storylines, the tour from the lady who runs the Lake County Jail. And so everybody's veering off to the left. And all of a sudden you see center point. I was just going over these videotapes. I go, damn, what is that? And I said, what could that be? Now, I've seen shadow people before. And it goes so quickly over to the right. And then it just like disappears like that. What do you think it is, Steve?
I mean, I've been pondering it. You showed me this a couple days ago, and I don't know what it is. I am putting my Pat Harrington hat on.
Sure.
And could it be that somebody's moving something to the right, causing a shadow to go across the floor? But I'd have to see it again.
Okay. So,
because I know there were no doors there. And the first thing I thought of was that a door opening?
No.
Causing a shadow? But there was nothing there. I remember the layout. It was
You're absolutely right. Remember, we walked through an opening, and there was no door. It was an opening of a cell to a large day room area. So we were coming up the stairs, and we walked inside, and then everybody started veering off to the left.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to see a head, and you're going to see what looks like shoulders, and then it gets skinny and then moves off to the right. I will show you.
Let's watch it again.
Yeah.
Technically, the electric came up there, but honestly, made it happen.
What do you think?
It is spooky. I can tell you that.
Yeah, it's definitely something weird and different. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Unknown. Me personally, I think it's definitely me personally. I'm saying it's a shadow person.
Yeah.
They
I would
move
say
very quickly.
anybody listening to this and would like to know, you can find this on YouTube and check out the video. Or I think, Neal, can you put that up on Facebook and ask people, and
Yeah,
maybe
what I'll
they can
do is
join the
I'll put that,
conversation?
yeah, I'm gonna put it up there. I'll tell you what, I'll put it up after Wednesday. I'll put it up on
Okay.
Thursday, the day after all the episodes go out, and
So
then
that'd be the
everybody.
7th?
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
On
yeah,
Facebook,
the
under
7th, yeah,
Graveside and
I'll put
under
it out on
Paranormal.
the 7th, and everybody can do it. I'm gonna try to put it together where I can slow it down as well. So I'll put it through the Wondershare and see if I can minimize it,
Okay.
the speed that is. So, and then Steve, what news do you have for us, buddy?
Well, I have in the news a biting twist of fate from a routine tooth extraction leaves a gap wider than you would have expected.
Wow.
A young man tragically dies after a routine tooth extraction. This is sad, actually, because it's a young man.
Yeah.
You get work on your teeth, but this is just to remind folks that routine surgery doesn't mean safe all the time or risk free. So, in a shocking incident from Shenzhen, I can't pronounce anything, Shenzhen, China, a routine tooth extraction turned tragic when 23-year-old Wang from Hunan province passed away shortly after the procedure. After experiencing tooth pain, Wang visited Young People's Hospital, where the dentist recommended the removal of 2 teeth. The procedure itself was completed without any apparent issue. However, in a startling turn of events, Wang lost consciousness and collapsed as he was getting up to undergo post-operative x-rays. A special committee of experts is now investigating this rare but devastating outcome to determine the cause of Wang's unexpected death.
Steve, this article here, I have to say, it really brought me down, dude. It's like it took all the energy out of me because now, I had this thought of this poor young man passing, and I'm thinking to myself, huh, well, all the energy is
Smile! Smile, Neal.
I mean, it's horrible. It is. It's horrible. And when you think about it, 23 years old, that's a young man.
It's a young guy. So, here's the thing. Like, don't let that sway anybody from going and getting any tooth work done or dental work done, because now might be the affordable time to go and do it. You don't want tooth problems to stick around. If you can take care of them, they can. Tooth issues can become a huge problem. Infections in the mouth can be a big deal. So get them taken care of. Our sponsor today is Dr. No, dentist. We're not being sponsored by any dentist or Colgate or anything or Listerine or anything. But get your teeth looked at, people.
And that's a message from Steve Leinweber of the Paranormal Guy. Oh my God, Steve! Out of all the news you could have came to us with, like maybe a UFO, maybe a ghost, some kind of haunting.
Yeah.
What depression?
Why?
Dude,
I mean, okay.
All right. Well, we're gonna move on. Steve, in the future. All right. All right. Let's. The idea of the show is keep it upbeat, man.
Oh, okay. Yeah. In a turn of events, Wang did not die at all. He just fell down to the floor and knocked out the remaining teeth and lived happily ever after.
All right, we're gonna move on. We're going to move on. All right. So the next one is that I'm going to be talking about a couple of things that Neal's going to be doing. The paranormal guys are going to be doing this year. Our next guest is Miss Ali Krause. She is having on Sunday, February 18th. She is going to be having Madtown Paranormal Expo. This is Larry Eisler from the show Expedition Entity. Sounds of Spirits goes to the Black Hawk War 1 Afterlife Anthology. You're going to meet and greet him workshops. He's also going to be there with Dan Norville. That's Scott. Dan Norville right here. He is his partner with Expedition Entity. They're both going to be out there. It's going to be from 12 o'clock until 7 o'clock. I'm going to be out there as a vendor representing. Steve has something that he already pre-planned way ahead of time, so he's not going to be able to make it. So from 12 to 7, you're going to have
a dentist appointment.
Oh, dear Lord.
Oh, boy.
So they're going to be out there. And then Mr. Scott Roderick, he's going to be out there. He's going to psychic medium. Psychics Unite, Mad City Ghostbusters. Oh, he's a Ghostbuster. Nice. Children of the Grave 2 and Lily's Cry. Huh. Interesting. I got to ask him what that is. What that all about, Lily's Cry and Children. I got to ask this guy these questions. It's a meet and greet mediumship presentation that he's going to be doing. Online prices, after party only, $15. Vendor fare and after party only together, $25. There are going to be workshops, 101 dowsing rods. I believe that's going to be with Dan. That's $40 each. Full package, workshops and after party, $100. So that's going to be at the Crucible Madison at 316 Commercial Avenue, Madison, Wisconsin. So come on out if you want. If you live in the area or you want to go for a ride that day, if it's nice like it is today, come on out, meet some people, and let's talk to the paranormal and the supernatural. So, Steve, do we have anything else that we'd like to talk about?
No, I mean, I think I shouldn't talk about anything.
Yeah,
with that news story.
Yeah, you already pulled out all the sales on that one, buddy. All right. Well, then with that being said, I think that we're going to come out. And then next up, Miss Ali Krause, and she's going to be promoting her Madtown Paranormal Expo, and we're going to be talking to her about her psychic abilities and tarot cards. So stand by, relax, and boo. And don't get your teeth pulled.
Oh.
Hey there. If you're on the hunt for some captivating podcasts about the supernatural, paranormal, aliens, or anything that'll send shivers down your spine, the Paranormal Guys Podcast has you covered. Find them on various streaming platforms, and don't forget to check out them on YouTube channel at Graveside Paranormal. Happy listening, and boo.
Now, back to the Paranormal Guys podcast.
All right, we're back. Thanks for all those messages for Graveside Paranormal, as well as the Paranormal Guys, for everybody who sends these messages to us, our little commercials. We greatly appreciate. So tonight's special guest is Miss Ali Krause, or Krause, and I'm sure she's going to explain it to me.
She'll correct you.
She'll correct me, I'm sure.
Yep.
Most people do. So, reason why we're bringing it on here, we want to promote something that the Paranormal Guys are going to be at. We are going to be Sunday, February 18, 2023, Madtown Paranormal Expo, vendors, workshops, and mediumship presentation. There's going to be people out there. We're going to start throwing up the photos in a moment, but let's bring in Ali at this time. Ali, welcome to the Paranormal Guys podcast.
Hello.
Hey, Ali.
Hi. How are you?
Nice. We're doing good.
It's Krause, right?
Krause. I know.
Krause.
Oh my God.
No one ever pronounces it
Nice.
right either. So.
Ali Krause. I like that. Yeah. All right.
Wow. I thought it was Cross or Kraus. I didn't.
Krause. That's usually what people pronounce it as, but Ali K works, you know.
Ali K. All right, we're just gonna go with Ali K for now on.
All
Every
right.
time we see you, it's just Ali K. All right.
Okay. Well, that worked.
Now you have a thing coming up, the Madtown Paranormal Expo. Let's pull up some pictures real quick for people who watch us on the YouTube as well as the Spotify. Sunday, February 18th, like I said before. Take us through this Madtown Paranormal Expo. This is your first event with Madtown Paranormal Expo. Am I correct?
It is. This is, I have booked many music
shows before. Like I kind of took Ali K Music Madison and turned it into Ali K Promotions. So now it's going to be like a marriage of music and the paranormal.
Neat.
So this is the first annual at Crucible Madison. So I plan on doing this one every year. It's more of an intimate, small situation, where no duplicate vendors and, everybody, gets ample amount of time, with the public.
Okay.
But yeah, and I have plans for bigger shows too, other places. But yeah, this is the first.
This is the first. You got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
And we got our first one of our guys who are up there, Larry Eisler, the third.
Mhm.
He's from Expedition Entity.
Mhm.
Sounds of Spirit, Ghost of the Black Hawk War, which I talked to Larry about on one of our podcasts, and Afterlife Anthology. He's going to be out there speaking. Is he going to be doing the Ghost Hunt 101 Paranormal Workshop?
Yep. And then his partner Dan on Expedition Entity, he's doing the dowsing rods workshop that comes with your own set of dowsing rods. So
wow. Neat. That's Dan right there. These are two very solid dudes, man. These guys, they're very normal guys. For ladies and gentlemen who do not know them, they're very down-to-earth type people. They're just good guys. I met them a couple times. I had them on, me and Steve had them on the podcast. Just very down-to-earth type guys. That's what's nice about easily talking to them. And then you have also a Mr. Scott Rorick. Am I pronouncing that correctly? Tell me about him.
He is a Madison gem in the paranormal, and he is a medium and a psychic. And he also has the Ecto 22, I think it's called, Ecto 22. And that is basically a completely decked out Ghostbusters van that has like all kinds of stuff. So he's going to be parking that at the venue that day. And then he's going to do a presentation on mediumship. And that will be included in the vendor price, like no extra charge. So
yeah, let's go to the pricing. Pull that back up for a second, Steve.
Oh yeah, sure thing.
Vendor fare and after party, $25. You're like you said, you're going to have music at the end of the day, some bands. Tell us about that.
They're local bands from Madison. Squid Hammer has been around for a long time. Great guys. And we got Evernoir, and they're from La Crosse, and that's a female fronted rock metalish band. And then we have the Sealies that are up and coming local band. They've been working with WJJO quite a bit, hardworking band. And so I got 3 bands for you guys. The after party show, the doors open at 7, bands will go on at 7:30. And also, the paranormal guys, Larry and Dan, and some of the vendors, hopefully you guys are going to stick around for that too. But yeah, it's going to be a really fun time.
Yeah, you guys gonna have food and drink out there or anything like that?
Well, there's a bar. There's a full bar there, and I don't know if they have food or not. I'm not providing food, but not in this one. I have enough to do, but definitely there is drinks, and yeah.
Oh, good.
There'll be drinks.
Now let's get into the very important things. Steve, meeting you, number one, is that we want to know a little bit about yourself. Every time we bring somebody on our show, we want to know a little bit about them. So how did you, Ali K, get into the paranormal, dear?
Well, that is a very long story.
We got time.
I am psychic as well. I'm a psychic intuitive, and I actually professionally read tarot cards and do psychic readings. But and that's kind of been just life for me. I never did it professionally until recently. So I've been in the music industry for like going on 11 years now. And so I have a lot of contacts and family, as far as the music family around here. And then I started working actually at Old Baraboo Inn. And I, was bartending and got more into that and started developing a little bit more skills there. And I just got an idea. I'm like, hey, like my music family wants me to be promoting again, but I kind of want to go down this path in the paranormal. So maybe I can merge both and create a whole new fun world. So I did. And then, Larry Eisler, he's my fiance. We just got engaged.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So we decided to kind of combine efforts and do this thing. And it's been really cool. A little stressful. This is like a way bigger show than I'm used to doing. Like I'm used to booking bands at night, for a few hours, but this is a bit more. But I'm pretty pleased with how it's turning out, and I've missed it. So yeah, it's been going really well, and I think it's going to be a really good, kickoff to Ali K Promotions' new endeavor.
Good. But personally, how did anything ever happen to you in your life that, because you say you're a psychic, okay, you do tarot card readings. Did anything happen in your young life that got you interested into the paranormal?
Yeah, I started seeing things. Like I was always kind of had extra senses, and I was lucky to have, my mother really nurtured that in me. She knew it. I'm not the only psychic in my family, so it's something that has been normalized. So I never really felt out of place with it. But I don't know. It was like the older I got, when I was younger, I didn't really know how to, decide, but, emotionally, or how to protect myself, when things would get too intense. And then it would scare me, when I was younger. But now it's different. It's evolved. It's stronger than ever, but it's also something that I'm more in control of. So it's, it's been a lifelong thing.
Yeah. I'm very familiar with that as well. I'm an empath. So I hear things out of my left ear, and I get people's impressions, their emotions. People come to me in dreams and stuff like that. And it's something that I've had ever since I was a little kid. But I suppressed it when I was starting to get a little bit older. And then I redid it the minute that we started doing this some years back. And I started, the more I go to these investigations and these places that we go to, and the more tours, because we do ghost tours throughout Chicago.
Sure.
And we take people on 4.5-hour tours.
Cool.
And the more we do that and we gather evidence, the stronger actually what happens for myself. And then Steve is the creator of the Anahata box. He's the one who did that.
Right.
Yeah. It's interesting watching the evolution of psychic ability, something that I don't have, something that I've seen Neal have. And when we meet folks like you, it's always interesting for me to ask, because I don't know what it's like. Can I ask, if this is too personal, it's okay. Maybe give us another one, but do you remember your first psychic experience, or when you knew that you, like, I get that it's a lot of times it's like normal, right? It's like, oh, I don't even think it's special or anything, but like the moment where you go, oh, I'm psychic.
Yeah. There's been so many instances throughout. I mean, I don't remember my first one, I'm sure, but I guess there's been this, I've been able to like project myself in ways throughout the years. Like when I was younger, I did this more, where like my little sister walked in the bathroom one day and saw me standing in the mirror and looking at myself. And I was in Portland, Oregon, and this was in Wisconsin. So that was a weird one. I've had, I just have this, when I look at somebody, now it's an exchange. When somebody sits at my table or asks me for that to be read, then I engage in that. Otherwise, I have to kind of create boundaries. Otherwise, it gets really crazy. So, so with that said, I would be able to pinpoint what people felt, and people would always tell me like I was mature for my age. And I don't think really that was the case. I think it was, I could just read. It's like, read people. And there are times where it drove me absolutely nuts. So I guess there's one of the instances is I was able to, I predicted a few deaths, which is unpleasant, but, and I've predicted a few other things too, like more knowing something's coming and not quite sure what it is yet. And it's almost like an itch you can't scratch and it drives you nuts. But, and then, something would happen and I would get it down to almost details. Like, okay, it's going to be in this season and this month, it's positive or negative, and then all of a sudden things would start shifting and it would all just kind of align. And I would be like, yeah, there's going to be a crazy derecho storm, which is something that happened in Iowa, actually. I just felt it coming for days. It was weird.
Now you do tarot card reading also as well.
Yep, I do.
How many years have you been doing that?
Since I was 15.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, I've been doing it a long time. I still have my same deck that I've always had too that I read with. Now I've kind of made a name for myself around Madison, so I read a lot more, and it's so my deck is, I'm like very gentle with it because that thing means like everything to me, and but yeah, it's professionally though, I've only been doing this. I mean, it took a lot to be able to really hone in my skills, and I don't need tarot cards to read people, but it does give a good like guide, or like a path to go down. I don't like doing all doom and gloom either. If I have bad news, I like to keep going in the situation to find some solutions. Or, but so far I'm 100% accurate.
Wow.
So that's
cool. Now, do you ever get anybody where like you're doing the tarot card reading? Because I've dealt with tarot card readers before, where all of a sudden you're flipping the cards, but then you feel something coming from the individual. And you're like, oh my God, there's something else behind what's going on with this card here. There's something else with this person going on. Did you ever feel that we're like a little too spooky with this person or scared or any of that stuff?
I mean, I don't really get scared, but absolutely. There's definitely instances where people are their own worst enemies. And I just try to gracefully be like, look, you got to adjust some things in your life. And I try to give advice on grounding and kind of a lot of people just they don't take care of themselves inside. They're not checking in to see how they're doing, and they're just taking care of everything else and working and grinding and doing what we all do in a way. But they so yeah, a lot of my advice is grounding and to check in with yourself and get the negative out of your body and get out of your prefrontal cortex once in a while. So it's but I do know, and the reason why I do this is because I help people. There's a lot of people that are just lost and need some help, need some guidance, need a little bit of advice. So I do that. I do pendulum questions, and I can do straightforward psychic readings, but that's where things get a little out of my control sometimes, where the cards kind of give me more control as far as a path to take.
Right, because it's flipping off to you, not flipping off to you, but you're flipping them. You're flipping them, and so you're getting direction for that individual then.
Right.
What's possibly in their world. Wow, that's pretty cool. Now, when you were do you see things or do you just hear things or both?
I don't see things as much as I feel them. I can sense. I know when something is in the room with me. It's like the same as anybody can tell when a person walks into a room without seeing them. Like you can just sense it, you can hear it, you can feel it. So those minute things that happen in the paranormal like that, I can sense those like they're, amplified. And like a person just walked right in, I'm like, hey, there's somebody right there. And I pick up on it's information. I don't like hear as much. I get information about it, but sometimes I do. I see it, and I can see things. Yes, but that's not usually the case. Usually, there's something there. I cannot visually see it, but I can feel the electricity. I can hear it. I can smell it. And it's giving me information. So it's like reading a book pretty much.
Okay. Have you ever done experiments where like a sensory deprivation?
I haven't yet. I want to. That makes me a little nervous because I have some pretty heightened senses. And even with like noise and lights and that kind of thing in my like day to day when I'm not paranormal, I'm very sensitive to that. So yeah, I don't know. It's
you don't know if you want to do something like that. It might make you a little nervous.
I want to, like, I do have like a little bit of nervousness about it just because I think it might, not because I'll get hurt, but it like might drive me nuts and I won't be able to do it very long. But I don't know. That's probably something I should check out.
A little sensory deprivation never hurt anybody.
Right. Sure.
Now you go to a lot of places with Larry and Dan, correct?
Sure.
So what's your favorite place that you've been to with them?
Well, there's a cemetery. I can't remember the name of it now. It was near it's in Illinois, near where Algonquin and like the area where Dan and Larry live. So, but there was a lot of activity there, and the minute I stepped into that place, I felt like something grabbed my hand and was like, this way. So I just kind of beelined like right to, and I felt like I was looking for something, and Dan and Larry were like kind of waiting for me to find it because they knew, and I did. It was a grave that I found with some trauma. I usually can sense traumatic deaths, but then it went further. So, okay, I found that one, and all of a sudden I was just like getting this pull, like there was like a magnet on my belt, and somebody was holding a magnet in the woods and like, come here. Right. And I started walking that way, and they followed, and luckily we were live. We did this on a live stream. But I'm like, there is definitely a grave or some entity that's very upset about their grave being outside of the graveyard. Like, and I'd never been there before, and it took actually a little bit of digging, but we found it. It was in there, and it was like, there's like the fence, for the fence line of the graveyard. It was over the fence. So, and all I could sense was just like this. It was almost like this argument, this yelling, this like like go over there. I'm really pissed.
You can hear it. You can hear like where they whisper or like
I can't hear words, but it's like I can feel the intensity of an argument. I guess it felt like uncomfortable.
The emotions.
Mm-hmm.
See, like with myself, what I do is I'll take on things emotions. So if I go to a haunted location, let's say we were at the Lake County Jail not too long ago, and that's in Indiana, and I'll go in there, and all of a sudden you'll get an attachment of someone else's emotions or a spirit's emotions. And I walked out of there with jealousy and anger. And it's held on to me for at least a good 2-3 weeks. It takes me a while sometimes for somebody to get rid of. And
that's rough. I've had that too.
Yeah. And sometimes you sit there, you're kind of sick. You don't feel like you're taking on something else's emotions. You don't understand what these emotions are because they're new to you. Yeah. So what you have to do is, for myself, as I sit there and I meditate and I relax my body and I breathe, it's kind of like the recovery phase to go through.
Definitely.
That one there was. Yeah. Steve, you got questions?
But no.
Steve.
No, I didn't. Your audio kind of like went out.
I did go back a little bit. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I got a few questions.
Sure.
So I want to understand like what it means to have a psychic ability. With the world today, do you see people more agitated?
Yes.
Is something happening with people on a personal level? But I guess another side of this question is that does your ability allow you to just interact with people and their personal experiences, or do you get a sense of the world, like a broader global type of energy?
I definitely get a sense of the world. I can both. I mean, the interaction with individuals, I try to create boundaries more with that because, otherwise I walk into a store and it's like, like which, I don't, places like Walmart and like busy places, I'm not a fan. And I just, so, but I've learned how to kind of protect myself and take breaks and, breathe. But with the global sense, yes, things have gotten tense. I feel like there's a big divide, of people that want to evolve and people that don't. Basically, that's what it feels like to, break it down. And I don't watch the news. I really, like, unless there's something like major going on, I have people that'll tell me about it, but I choose not to engage in that. I don't really engage in politics much, and I try to not discuss religion too much either. But but yeah, there's things happening, and they're always happening. They're always going to be happening, but there's definitely a new shift that's happened.
Right. And I'm not psychic, right, at all. But even I sense tension. Like when you said going into a store, right? And then like, I know what you mean. It's like, it's different now for some reason. You walk into a store, a bunch of people, and it just doesn't feel nice. It feels like your spidey sense is like,
yeah, I think everybody's kind of got that little sixth sense type thing, Steve.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah, definitely. Everybody's got a little bit of that for sure.
Like a little instinct, right?
Yeah, your instinct.
Something.
Absolutely.
So yeah, it's it's like a quickening or something in the world. The energy, is it like, kind of like when you're talking about that grave, and you can kind of feel like that argument happening.
Would you think it's enhancing? Is that what you're trying to say, Steve? Like things are enhancing more?
Yeah, I think things might be enhancing more, and I'm wondering what the impact is on people who are sensitive to the energy, and
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of us we dealt with this for a while, so we know how to, when things get intense, kind of go in our turtle shell a little bit more, like just kind of duck. But yeah, the last few years, there's like information that is getting crossed. It's like there's a lot of untrue things being said to define an agenda, if you will. And then there's people that are scared and want to, like, what is going on, and there's just all this confusion. So there's just there's a shift. Something's happening. We're kind of going into a new era of humanity, I think, and we've already begun that.
I agree.
Right. And and so kind of the question that I'm setting all that up for is, if somebody who's listening to this podcast and they're a young girl, maybe they're 15 years old, like when you started doing tarot, what advice would you give them coming into their gifts and expressing them, exploring them in a time where things are a little bit heavier?
I would advise caution and not to do it by yourself. Like find somebody who can help guide you, that's older, that's been doing this for a while, that can help you define your gifts and kind of hone in on them. Because I remember, like, for me, trying to figure this out, and I did have good guides, but like I'm not just a psychic. I have the empath, I have the intuitive, I have other things coming at me, so it would get really overwhelming, to the point where I was just like emotionally done. And then for a little bit, like, I really just couldn't figure out how to stop that. So I got really introverted. Like, I got really like, I'm talking, did not want to leave the house, did not want to go to any stores, did not want to talk to people. And then I'm like, well, this isn't healthy. So I had to I started getting more guidance and figuring out how to, and really it's your brain is able to protect you if you know how to use it more than anything. Like you can shut it down. You can you can change thoughts and change direction, and even though you might still feel some things that are, you know, you can at least kind of shut it down.
You know, now that Steve said that, I think you would be perfect to do a workshop on that for like young guys and girls,
That would be cool.
something like that, you know, because let me just tell you a little about myself for a second. Is that when I was young, I used to play with Ouija boards by myself, and which is a no, which is a bad idea.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to play with yourself.
Yeah,
Ouija board by yourself.
Steve, this is a
what?
I'll leave it to Steve.
Nothing.
So I would see things and get things, and that's how I started getting more of these different things, emotions and stuff like that, by using these Ouija boards. And I didn't realize what I was doing. And like you said, sometimes these young boys and girls, they go out there, they get misdirected into doing certain things. And me being the kind of person I am, I try to reach out to people and I try to tell them what not to do, what to do, from just experience of doing things. And the reason why I'm saying that to you is I think that would actually be a great workshop for someone like yourself to present to somebody at like one of your events or something like that, because there are kids out there who are lost. They really are. They question themselves.
And they don't know that other people have gone through this.
No.
That there's solutions to it. And you don't have to, just watch movies and be guided by like pop culture or whatever. This is like it's a real thing, what you're experiencing, and the world's kind of in a weird place right now. So having an anchor, having a mentor.
Yeah, I mean, and I've been wanting to put together workshops. I mean, some of them I do tarot at a place called Cosmic Delights, and I'm working on a workshop of like, I guess, pagan like rituals, holidays, like, and how they feed into today and the modern world. But yeah, that would be pretty cool to do. But yeah, even I still get mentored on stuff. So I think it's a lifelong process, but it can be intense, especially in the teenage years when you are confused. You're going through the shift of I'm not a kid anymore. I'm not an adult. I'm like in between, and all these things are growing. All of the like in your brain and bodily, emotionally, everything is like getting ready to be an adult. So that alone is a big task, but then throw, an extra sense in there, and that can be a nightmare. I mean, it really can, or a blessing, it can be either. But, where energy goes, that's, intention flows. Is that right? Or whatever. Yeah. So where you put your energy in things, so like a Ouija board, okay? There is more stigma about it being a no-no than anything, which is understandable, because you don't always know what's coming through. If you try to communicate with somebody specific or something specific, there's more that can come through, and you don't know, like they can act like they're innocent as can be and be absolutely not that. So that is, and the pendulum is kind of the same, and that's why I don't do more than 3 questions at a time, because things can get through, and I've had attachments before, and I've had some scary things happen. So but that when don't do Ouija boards by yourself, or
right. And just so I can correct myself on something, it's not the Ouija board that causes things, okay? It's the intention of the individual. See, if you're out there and you don't have any knowledge on certain things, and you're going to play with certain things in the different realms, or try to reach out to something thinking that you're going to get some special powers or something like that, and that you reach out to these things by yourself, it could be a Ouija board, it could be a piece of paper. Right. But it's the intent of the individual that's reaching out, and their intent and what they get back is what's going to happen. So if I'm trying to reach out to something that's in another realm or something like that, somehow or another, with anything, just like a hammer to a nail, if I want to put up a nail to hang a picture, eventually I'm going to get that job done. Same thing with the intent from the mind to the soul of going and reaching out. I'm going to find something. It's probably not going to be what I was looking for, which happens a lot, actually.
And opening things without closing them.
Yeah.
That can lead to big trouble too.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a system in place. And I mean, Ouija boards, and they're not for everybody. Like, even people, like, I know how to protect myself, and I can safely use a Ouija board. I choose not to, because it's been really kind of unruly, and it's not always able to function properly, and it's also a risk. I mean, you could not only get attachments from that, but you can let some pretty crazy stuff into your world, and some of that stuff can't go away, like, you're never getting rid of it, kind of thing.
Right.
I've had, so yeah, I don't mess with Ouija boards so much. I'm not scared of them, but I decide not to do that, because that's my choice. Pendulum, kind of like a Ouija board, but that is for me more manageable. Like, I can make that what I'm looking for, but it still doesn't come without risks.
Yeah, isn't it more like just yes or no answers to yes or no questions?
Yes, no, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's more basic. It's not. Right. I mean, when you get into all the letters and all the numbers and everything that can, most things in the universe are numbers, so it's, basically you can really get in trouble with some of the entities out there. But yeah, caution always with that kind of thing. Even tarot cards. I mean, I'm very nonchalant about it now, but it's no big deal for me anymore. But it was at one time. That's also something you're opening. You're opening something to look, and you're peering in. And if you don't respect that and you don't do that correctly, then you're asking for trouble.
Do you have what you would call a spirit guide with your ability?
I have several, I guess. I have a few. But no, it's not dependent on them. But there are things that check in with me and, try to protect me. Some things sometimes try to protect me to a degree that is not okay.
Right.
Like causing issues with people in my life.
Right.
So, yeah. And that comes too, because I do paranormal investigate, and I've had some attachments, or I've had attachments on me I didn't even know about. And then I walk into a place and those spirits are like, nope. And then I have to figure out like why, and they're like, oh, they're like, we don't want that thing. I'm like, oh God. So,
oh boy.
Yeah, that's happened recently actually. But,
where were you at?
What was that place called? There's another Larry and Dan place. It was some like old, what the heck was it called? It was the Tinker Cottage or something like that.
Oh yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. And it was the strangest thing, because I had just stopped doing tarot at a place that was giving me some weird attachments more than I liked. And so I went to another place that was more, made me feel more comfortable. And then I didn't feel anything. I remember I was just like really tired, and I was hot. I was sweating. Like, I remember like I was just hot for days, and I could not stop sweating. And I thought that was strange. And I never got sick or anything. So I'm like, okay, whatever. So I show up, I met the guys there, and like there was immediately a reaction to me being in the room. So I kind of sat in the safe zone area and was trying to communicate and figure out like, what is your problem? And didn't get much until we went upstairs, and then it got figured out. Like, we had the spirit box out, and there was some very strange voices coming through, and we were in a room that was meant just for ladies, the lady spirits, and there was like male voices coming. And the person, the guide, she's like, well, that's never happened before. And then I just kept getting like weirdness. And then eventually she's like, I think you have an attachment. I'm like, I think I might too, because they're kicking me out. Like, they like straight up kick me out. The Tinkers, and I'm like, I'm so sorry. And I had no idea, but that one took a while to get off of me too.
Oh yeah, those sometimes, some of these things, like, have you ever heard of a place called Bachelor's Grove Cemetery?
Oh yeah, I've been there.
Oh yeah, so we do some tours out of there. Sometimes I take people on a tour there, and we have a lot of odd things that happen there. And
Girls' Grave,
the Madonna Bachelor's Grove.
The woods there are nuts. Like I found a teddy bear nailed to a tree for one thing, but and then they're all like the illusions are pretty interesting.
Yeah, we actually had it where like we were on the trail and we did recordings off of a spirit box we have called the Anahata, and all the voices were coming out backwards, and then we put in the Audacity program, we reversed it, and it came out playing forward, and it started saying things like Angel Michael, we had his training and stuff like that. We have it all on video. We videotape everything that we do. But yeah, you get a lot of attachments inside there. There's a form of possession that's happening on in Bachelor's Grove Cemetery. It affects the people.
Right.
One last question I have for you is a person, have you ever gone up to a person where like you felt like you had to tell them something because of a psychic ability? And you said, listen, I don't want to do this, but something's beckoning me to talk to this individual. Have you ever had anything like that?
I have yes, but I don't do that. That's kind of breaching my barriers of the
So that's a rule you have, right? Okay.
Otherwise it can get me into a situation where things are following me, and like I can't put them down. So the way that I do it, it's an exchange, and then that exchange ends, and when they walk out the door, it's done.
That's interesting. Because then you become that guy or gal that the spirits are like, oh yeah, use her, and then they're all like lining up, and you're like Whoopi Goldberg from that Ghost movie.
We're not doing that. We're not doing that.
You like that?
I got enough to do. I can't. But yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I know that for like me, I've had it all my life, so I wouldn't know any other way. But I really can't imagine it any other way. But it's cool to help people, and it's cool to like see the differences between like me and other people that just have a normal amount of senses. And even I think everybody has a little bit of that spark, that instinct, that intuition. We're humans. We're equipped to be able to sense things around us, and but yeah, it's like, just like I'm probably very strange to a person that doesn't have extra senses. They're strange to me too, because I'm like, I have no idea what that would be like. I would feel like I was missing the part of me.
I
like
identified with something you said earlier. You said that you can just turn it off. Part of your brain can just turn it off. And I think that a lot of normal, quote unquote, normal people, or people without gifts, they're just either deliberately, in that mode of not having it turned on. I know that I kind of, I don't seek it, and therefore I don't find it. So I have that turned off all the time, but probably a little more deliberate. Yeah.
I mean, it gets because it is something I have all the time. So there are times where things will feel more intense, and I have to really try, harder to block it off. Like, this isn't the time for this, and I allow it in under my terms. And spirits, for one thing, don't always like that. Like, whatever, Allie, we're coming. But it's helped me be able to use my gifts in a way that help other people, and like monetize them, and be able to do that for a living, basically. In a way.
That's what I tell a lot of people is, do something you like to do in life. You're going to see after time, if you keep working hard at something, it's going to become a job for you, not as in like a labor, but it's going to be, then you're going to start getting money from it, but it's because it's what you love to do. And that's how you want to make a living, doing the thing that you love to do. And so I want to thank you very much, Ali K. Ali K. See, I got that
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you very much. And let's promote this one more time. Tell us Madtown Paranormal Expo, vendors, workshops, and a mediumship presentation Sunday, February 18th, 2023. Larry Eisler III is going to be there. Yourself, Ali K. Now you're going to be doing tarot card reading, correct?
No. I have a tarot card reader, a world-renowned Diet will be there.
Okay.
So
and you're basically going to be hosting. Make sure everything gets done.
I'm making sure everything runs smoothly and all of my vendors are happy and transitioning to like the after party and just keeping things going
the way they have to go.
I'm the boss lady on this one.
So Dan Norvell is going to be out there, and the other man, what was the other man's name as well? I'm sorry,
Scotty.
Scott Rorick. Scotty Rorick will be out there as well. So I'm looking forward to meeting a lot of people as well, coming out here and sharing the moment with you. And we are really looking forward to it.
Yes.
Thank you once again.
It starts at noon.
And starts at noon. Starts at noon. All right. Well, once again, Ali, thank you very much for coming on, and good luck to everything. And
thank you.
All the blessings I can give you, my dear.
Well, thank you much. We'll see you February 18th.
February 18th. Be there or be square.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Okay.
Bye-bye.